Hello and welcome. Today we will be discussing the new Netflix program 13 Reasons Why from executive producer Selena Gomez. This popular show is based on the 2007 book by the same name by author Jay Asher. Today we will be analyzing this controversial show from the perspective of a teenager, a parent, a high school teacher, and a child development expert. Let's get started. When a teenager watches the show 13 Reasons Why, there are many thoughts that could go across their minds. I actually read the book when I was in high school, and I loved it and read the whole thing in one sitting. I remember reading the book, and it definitely wasn't nearly as graphic as the show was. The scene of the suicide in the book did not go into the detail that was shown in the show. I think that from a teenager's point of view, they would say that the show has a good message and brings about a lot of talking points for parents to talk to with teenagers, but and they also may know other friends that struggle with depression or suicidal thoughts, but also it could seem dangerous to someone in their adolescent years. The show makes it seem like if a teenager decides to commit suicide, they will become more popular after their death and will receive a lot of attention. It also puts a lot of pressure on Hannah Baker's friends. They are not psychologists or experts, and it could make teenagers feel like the weight is all on them to stop someone from committing suicide. From a parent's point of view, it seems like they would be mostly worried about the content that's shown in the show and don't want it to lead their teenager to make the same choices that Hannah did. But however, on the other side, it could be used as a good conversation starter. Parents could watch the show with their teenage child, and it brings up the topics of suicide, depression, rape, sexual assault, and other topics that are much more common in high schools today than the parents may realize. For teachers, they could also use 13 Reasons Why as a conversation starter. They could use it as a way to start a dialogue in their class, similar to what one of the teachers does in the show. However, from this sort of idea, they have to be careful about different triggers that may come up for teenagers that are already suffering from depression. They can use the show as a conversation starter and say things like, if any student is struggling with depression, they can come in and talk to the teacher and just use it as a way to open that conversation and make their classroom a safe and comfortable space for all students. When a child development expert comes upon the show 13 Reasons Why, they would have a whole different perspective. Many of child development doctors and professors have concerns about this group suicide idea, that the show may promote suicidal ideation, but more seriously is that 13 Reasons Why does not have any advice about mental health or resources of where teenagers or young adults in the same situation as Hannah can go for help. Also, although the show does have warnings on the episodes that show rape and suicide, they're fairly vague, and I think a CD expert would want to change those warnings to be more serious and maybe place the warning in the scene right before the rape or suicide is about to be shown. On the other hand, the show can promote positive dialogues, and I think a child development expert would want parents to watch the show along with their children and can use this time to discuss all of the topics that are brought up in the show.